was kind of this free intern working, and the rest is kind of history. I fell in love with it and the dynamicism that exists in clinical trials, and the work that I was doing, and the work that clinical research in general does was really inspiring, and I haven't looked back since.
Yeah, I think having it be a dynamic environment is one way to describe it. I've heard a lot of, I mean, it's not something that I've done or that I've specialized in at all, and so it just seems to me like there's a lot of both sort of tracking tactical things as well as sort of looking ahead at like all the things that are coming at you as well. So it seems like there it is a real dynamic environment as you described it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hardly ever the same day over day, and it's moving really fast, just like medicine, right? We're on the cutting edge of medicine development. So as medicines and molecules come to market, and we're developing new ways to do them, and different, kind of treating different therapeutic areas, it's just so different every single day.
Yeah, and how is your experience working for both site and site sponsor perspectives shaped your approach to your current role?
Yeah. So at SCRS, I kind of sit at this really apex role with the relationship between the sites and the sponsors, and really a lot of other players in the industry, like the CROs as well. But that bringing both of those perspectives has been really, really important to trying to find ways for those two constituent groups in the execution of clinical trials to work better together. Is a lot of what we try to do. Our primary focus is on site sustainability at the society, but a lot of what we do is how we do that together and finding ways to collaborate more effectively. So being able to bring that direct site and direct sponsor experience into the work has been really instrumental in allowing us to advance some of the work that we do.
Very good. And then what joined you? What more specifically prompted you to join SCRS?
So it's an interesting journey. So I was at the site, and then I was at the sponsor side of things, and then I found my way to SCRS. And all along, I was actually working pretty closely with SCRS. We were members when I was at the site, so I got an opportunity to be part of SCRS through that avenue. But then when we were at the sponsor, I was in a department that was working really closely with SCRS, so I had the opportunity to interact and conduct work with them from that side as well. So it kind of seemed like a really logical progression for me when it came to the work, and I saw a lot of the great work that SCRS was doing to advance the work that was needed to be done at the research site and solve some of those challenges that I saw existing at the sponsors, and felt like it could bring a really positive impact more holistically than I could at either the site or at the sponsor. So it would just kind of seem like a logical progression to me. And then when the opportunity came up, I jumped on it.
So let's talk a little bit about your role. So you're a VP of site engagement. What is that, and what does it entail?
Yeah, absolutely. So I oversee, as the name would allude to, a lot of our site member engagement work, and that comes in a variety of different forms. A lot of it has to do with membership and what we're bringing to the research site members, and how we help them specifically with executing their clinical trials and growing their businesses. And the other side of that, as a lot of it is education work. So I actually oversee our education department as well, and the content and the webinars and the various different projects that we do to help maintain their level of knowledge that they do to be successful in the industry. I also oversee a lot of our projects that our industry partners develop with us. We call them global impact partners, and we have a lot of initiatives and projects that relate to the work that they do, and I oversee a lot of the execution of those, because a lot of that has to do with again, engaging the membership to advance some of that work together.
Yeah, so in terms of SCRS itself, it seems like they have a very broad reach as well. So 11,000 research sites, 54 countries. How does the organization unify and amplify the voice of the diverse global community?
So It's a great question. We tackle that in a lot of different ways. I kind of relate it back to our pillars. SCRS stands kind of what the foundation of the work that we do is around mentorship, education, connection, and mentorship, education, uh, connect, and there's one other one, it's eluding me right now, but they that underscores a lot of the work that we do as an organization, and everything that we do kind of ties back to one of those pillars, and helps the sites in a variety of different ways, because some of them need different things. Some of them are at different phases, right? The site that's been around for 20 years probably doesn't need mentorship, but maybe those connection and education opportunities are something that's a little bit more valuable to them. And conversely, for a site that might be just starting out or just getting into the industry, that mentorship and that education is valuable. The connection opportunities that they're able to make through the society, can really help them as well. Again, I harken back also to the initiatives and the programs that we do. So we have a variety of different projects, and we initiatives, different long-term programs that we have in place that are focused on, again, advancing the work of the sites and promoting their sustainability long-term. And membership is also part of that, right? So the sites joining and being able to participate in those kinds of things, and really amplify their voice amongst many others, has made a really big difference in the site space, where traditionally the voice of the singular site is kind of small and sometimes not as powerful as it needs to be. And then finally, events. We do execute 6 different events across the year. We call them site solutions summits that span a variety of different topics. Some of them are focused on therapeutic areas, like our oncology site solutions summit. Others are focused in particular areas, like our SCRS West, which focuses on technology. But we have several domestically, and we have one over in Europe, and we also have one in Australia. So those are also opportunities for our sites to kind of come together. I really do call them the cornerstone of the work that we do. They are a culmination of everything we do outside of those events, and a lot of the work that we're trying to advance and those pillars that we stand on are really do come to a head at those events.
Very good. Yeah, it looks like the pillars are advocate, educate, mentor, and connect. I
Yes,
had
the advocate one
the wrong
was
pillars.
I was forgetting that one to mention that one, but yes, advocate, educate, mentor, and connect.
Yeah, whenever the pressure's not on you, right?
I know,
I
right?
can,
How many
yeah,
times have I
yeah.
rattled those off in the 6 years that I've been with SCRS?
There you go. Yeah, and these are always the moments that sort of that catch us all, right? It's like, is nothing like having the pressure of an interview and having it be live and online, to help you not remember all the four, but very good. I'm glad I
Yeah,
could help.
right.
So can you elaborate a little bit more in terms of the site facing initiatives that you're currently spearheading at SCRF?
Absolutely. So I'll mention there's a lot of them, but I'll mention a couple of our big ones that we have. Include is the term that we've coined for our diversity, equity, and inclusion initiative. For those that are maybe unfamiliar with the clinical research enterprise, there has recently been a large governmental push from the FDA around how we advance diversity, equity, and inclusion in our clinical trials, because we want the medicines that we're bringing to market to be have been tested on a representative patient population for that disease state, right? For example, breast cancer adversely affects Black women in much higher percentages than it does in white women on average. So we want to make sure that our clinical trials and those women that we're enrolling into those studies are, again, those ratios match what's on the clinical trials to what we see in real world science. So there's been a lot of work, and SCRS is leading the way in trying to make sure that the sites are equipped with and have the information that they need to best meet those needs across the industry. The Digital Innovation Initiative, or DII for short, is one that is focused on technology. Over the last several years, we've seen this really exponential growth in the amount of clinical trial based technology and remote services that are being used on the clinical studies. So we're asking sites to use new technologies in a variety of different ways, more so now than we ever had before, is another way to say that. So this initiative aims to make sure that sites are prepared for, they have the information, tools, knowledge, and et cetera, to really be successful with implementing those technologies